Hello.
This is Dr. Friends.
When I was a student, people often asked me about dissection practice when I first went to medical school.
Yes, people ask a lot.
Back then, I always had something to say. I still remember the first day of dissection practice so clearly. When I first entered, the dissection room was in our basement. Of course, it is a very solemn place of learning. I understand that very well. When I first entered, there were 11 caskets on the practice tables. To be honest, the visual, something was very striking. It hit me that now I am really a medical student. The professor explained to us about these individuals. There were also some donors that we knew of. After paying our respects to the deceased, we opened all 11 caskets simultaneously. That moment, such a vivid scene, it is not something you witness in life, honestly. After opening it, we also had to show respect to the deceased.
Because it was the beginning of our learning.
The first 11 silver caskets, oh, I could never forget them.
The smell of formalin.
Yes.
That smell always comes to mind when I think of dissection practice.
You were the best.
I worked very hard, and it suited my personality.
Best in anatomy.
The smell of formalin, I always remember it. And I actually found this dissection practice to be very interesting. It was always written down like this is how the arm looks in anatomy. And this is how muscles look. There were pictures. They did not stick, but after doing dissection practice, it is like it is in 3D.
Oh.
When I think of the bones in my body, it is like they are flying in one by one and attaching themselves.
Not all medical students can think like this.
When I think of muscles, they're attached like this.
It is an amazing story.
The way the nerves and blood vessels are arranged really came together clearly in my mind. It was so interesting. Actually, it is thanks to the donors. I am always grateful for that.
I think anatomy was 8 credits. Yes, it was a symbolic class in medical school. At the time, whether it was a family gathering or a blind date, people would often ask, "Have you done dissection?" They would then say, "I do not think I could ever do that." As you said, it is nothing like the mood you see in horror movies. It was very busy.
Once you start, you really have to learn.
So, the teaching assistants would walk around, helping us review the parts we needed to study that day. Comparing it to the textbook, it was a busy time.
Busy and difficult, right?
Yes, exactly.
What's in the book should be there, but we couldn't find it.
It really is different.
Sometimes we just couldn't.
When I try to find it, it's not there.
But when the professor comes over,
Oh, it is right there.
they just use a stick and suddenly the nerves show up. It happens sometimes.
It was like that. But thinking back, now, I have friends who worked hard and did well in anatomy class. They seem to have gone to the surgical department. Ariane, I think I didn't do well. So I didn't go to the surgical department.
I could be like that too, being in internal medicine.
Ended up in otolaryngology.
I ended up in a surgical department again.